we're going to have Friedman with his testimony.
Hi, everybody. That was a beautiful testimony. It makes me want to cry. It was so awesome. I'll try to keep it short. We all pretty much have the same testimony. We're all lost and now we're all found. The word salvation, but we've all inherited. In the Hebrew, it means sozo, healed, made one, whole, delivered, set free from the world, and just placed into Him. And we can all wake up into freedom and wake up and know that we wake up for Him, no one else, nothing else, and know that our identity is securely found in Him. And I just felt to share exactly what happened with me, salvation. But it basically started when nothing was going for me in life. I didn't really want this life. It was nothing to me. I kind of just wanted to end it all. It was useless to me. Everything in life was just going downhill. Most of my life I grew up, it was unstable places to stay, in and out of people's homes, in and out of, I've lived all over Florida, Tampa, here Orlando right now, West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, St. Pete, Miami, back and forth, up and down, all throughout my life. I'm 18 years old now. I've been homeless. I've dealt with it. Never had much of anything. So I've been in and out of hotels. Most of my time was living in hotels. But it came to a point for me where just bad stuff continued to happen. I didn't have a stable family or a stable mother. I was never introduced to Christianity. There's no one around me. I was actually introduced to the opposite of it. It was so horrible. So my mom and my father separated. They were arguing when I was like 10 years old. They were never really a big part of it. So then I started to live with my mother, and she took a path. One of the ways she used to make money, she'd bring men in and out of the house, and that's how she'd bring her money. And I had to see this, and I had siblings as well, so I had to block them from it. So at 16 years old, I had a choice whether to leave the household or not. I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know Jesus. I knew the world didn't know Jesus, but I decided to stay for my brothers and sisters' sake, figuring I could be a leader for them, but I didn't even know who I was, so it was impossible. So it came down to a point for me where life kept coming. Still was struggling with a place to stay and trying to go to school. Life kept coming. My mother, she was just growing up into animosity and hatred, and that's what I would come home to, and that was my big influence. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna try to figure out who I am through a girl. I'm gonna get a girlfriend. The problem with that was I was addicted to porn. You can't get a girlfriend and be addicted to porn, it never works. So I tried to get one and did all the sexual things, did all the things the world wants. That relationship that we used to want, where we see the guy and the girl and they have the matching outfits, all the stuff we see over social media, guys. I was actually sharing with my teammate today, I said, the relationship we have with Jesus, that's the relationship people should want. We can just give that to people. But I had this relationship with this girl, and I did everything I could think of, but about 2 years into it, I'm in my sophomore year at high school, and I just found out she didn't believe in God. 2 years into the relationship, and I was believing, but I was believing to get to heaven. And that didn't work out, because every night I'd sometimes pray for something I'd want. Like, I remember one of those things, I'd pray for a dirt bike. I got that dirt bike, by the way. I would pray for it every single night, because I thought he was my dirt bike giver. That's what I thought he was, and that's what I got. But every night I would pray, and I'm like, okay, well, she doesn't believe in God. There's a problem here. I want to get to heaven. She doesn't. That's how I'm thinking. So we ended up separating, but the problem was when we separated, I placed so much of me into her. When we separated, I felt like all of me lost. I got extremely suicidal. I wanted to kill myself. I got back into another relationship with a girl right after. Put another part of me into another one. Separated, same path. Walking on my driveway, I was pacing. I do it often, where I just look at the stars and walk, and I would think about things, and I'm just sitting there thinking about how I'm going to do this, a letter I'm going to write, and how it's going to affect my family. About a week before that happened, I play football and run track. I was at the track practice, and I needed a ride home. I was desperate for one. My mother, she didn't care about what I was doing, so I didn't have any rides home. I didn't have anything like that, so I'd always use people inside of what I was doing to get me to place. So I got into the car with this man I never met before. I was 30 minutes away from home, and he was taking me home, and he asked me the question, do I know what it means to be a Christian? My response was to glorify God and never know what I was saying, and he took me the long way home and shared the whole gospel with me. So I had this man's contact information in my phone, And I'm sitting there, so I decided to hit this man up because I'm like angry, I'm frustrated, I don't know what to do, I'm confused, I'm crying, all those things. So I hit him up, and he just started explaining to me my worth. And I don't know what happened. Well, I do know what happened now, but this peace just fell over me, and it gave me just 5 more minutes of the Lord to just minister to me and tell me why I should still be living. So I went to sleep that night. I didn't kill myself. I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I felt weird. And I decided I need to figure out if this name Jesus is real or not, because I'm very close to just ending this thing. I need to figure out if he's just what social media says. I need to figure out if he's blessings. I need to figure out what he is, because I would be on social media so much, and I'd see what you can't do in Christianity and what you can do. And my biggest problem was you can't have sex with girls. I'm like, what? So I said, you know what, I'm going to figure out who this Jesus is for myself. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm just going to seek after him. That was the problem. I found him. He says he who seeks me with all his heart shall find me. I just sought after him with a little bit. I didn't even have all my heart. I had doubts, and he revealed himself to me, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I stopped believing to get to heaven, and heaven entered my life. It manifested in my heart, and I built a relationship with that Jesus. I didn't go to any church. I didn't listen to any pastor. I built a relationship with the man Jesus himself. And I've got baptized in the Holy Spirit. I received tongues. I didn't know what I was doing. And I started to get to know who it was that lived inside of me. He started to make his home here. It started out at a little house, then he made a big mansion. I've just allowed the Holy Spirit to rule my life. And I've allowed the relationship I have. And I've just been reflecting it with people. And he set me free from everything. He set me free from myself, which makes me free from you, which makes me free from this world. It just allows me to wake up for him, no one else. So he's been my reason for being ever since that day. He's been my reason for everything. I wake up no longer to be loved by anyone because I already am loved, and I can just love on people. And he loved all the mess out of my life. So that's my testimony.
Yeah.
Yeah.